This is what I go on, Jamaica Food and Drink Festival. We enjoy ourselves, right? What party? That's a go on. What a go on. Pick up yourself, we're there. Yes, you're ready for the Food and Drink Festival. Yeah, place to be. That's a go on. Or what a go on. Remember that.
Everybody let me see you clap those hands. Give me care. Come on, let me see you clap those hands.
Montego was brought to you by
Duns would like to introduce to you our new inverters, Dun Cool, available at all our Duns locations from 12,000 BTU to 48,000 BTU. We have a unit to cool any space. Shop Duns, shop Dun Cool, the best unit on the market. Argument?
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Wednesday, March 18, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. Up first this afternoon, detectives assigned to the Montego Bay Police Criminal Investigations Branch have charged 27-year-old businessman Gregory Telfer of Retreat Cove, Montego Bay, St. Thomas with murder and using a firearm to commit a felony following an incident in the parish on Friday, February 19. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Alia Farquharson, a chef of the Roselle District in St. Thomas. Reports from the Montego Bay Police indicate that Farquharson was discovered by a relative at her home, lying in a pool of blood. The police were summoned and an investigation was launched. During the course of the investigation, it was revealed that Telfer, a licensed firearm holder, had been in an intimate relationship with Farquharson. It was further reported that Telfer was seen leaving Farquharson's home on the night of the incident. Following further investigations, he was formally charged after a question and answer session conducted in the presence of his attorney. He is scheduled to appear before the court. Meanwhile, a St. Anne couple has been charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, assault at common law, unlawful wounding, using a firearm to commit a felony, and accessory after the fact following an incident in their community on Saturday, March 14. Charged are Castell Newland, otherwise called Shine, a 40-year-old Mason, and 23-year-old Higla Roberta Garrick, both of Prosper Hall Exchange in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. Reports from the Ocho Rios police indicate that about 9 a.m., a man was sitting outside a friend's house when he was approached by the couple. Newland allegedly pulled a firearm from his waistband and used it to strike the man on his left ear, causing a wound that bled. Following the assault, the couple fled the area on foot. The injured man was assisted to hospital, where he was treated and released. A report was later made to the police, and later that day, both accused reportedly turned themselves into the police and were subsequently arrested and charged based on statements given. Their court dates are being finalized. This just in, detectives from the Montego Bay CIB are investigating the death of a man identified as Andrew Graham of Green Pond, St. James, whose body was recovered inside the Montego Bay People's Arcade with what our newsroom understands to be chop wounds. Our newsroom will continue to track developments as additional information becomes available, and we'll have more later on in CVM News at 7. A prosecution witness on Tuesday identified the accused Michael Wildman and Lamar Rowe in connection with the 2020 shooting that resulted in the death of St. Catherine resident William Christian. The identification was made despite a request from the defense to change the seating arrangement of the men. Carter Amdeen was in court and now reports.
A detective sergeant called by the prosecution detailed his role in the investigation into the 2020 murder of William Christian and wounding with intent of another man in Spanish Town. The witness told the court that while on duty at Spanish Town Police Station, he received a call and went to the scene. On arrival, citizens pointed out the area where the incident happened. The witness testified that upon approach, he observed several spent shell casings leading from outside a gate along the driveway and towards the house, where he also saw saw bloodstains. He then started his investigation. The witness said that on November 27, 2020, acting on instructions from his supervisor, he went to the Central Village Police Station where he spoke with a man in custody. The witness said the man spoke in hushed tone and indicated he did not wish to talk there. The witness transported the man to MID office where he gave a witness statement. The information led the officer to the Portmore Police Station cell block where he made inquiries and encountered the accused Michael Wallman. He said he identified himself, informed Mr. Wallman of the investigation and indicated his intention to conduct a question and answer session and place him on an identification parade. During the trial, defense attorney Paul Gentles requested that the witness step outside and that the dock be reshuffled, noting that the men were seated in the order listed on the indictment. The request was granted, though the prosecution noted it was unusual. The defense maintained it was to preserve integrity of the proceedings. When the witness returned, he was asked to identify Wallman. He left the witness box, walked around the courtroom and looked keenly at the men in the dock. After examining them, he said he could not identify him, but added he was certain he had seen him earlier that morning in court. Can I have another look? The witness asked. Defense counsel objected, arguing that the process was becoming a trial and error exercise and that the witness should not be given, quote, a second bite of the cherry. Despite the objection, the judge allowed the witness another opportunity. On the second attempt, the witness carefully observed the men and this time identified Michael Wallman. The witness further testified that Mr. Wallman was subsequently placed on an identification parade and subjected to a question and answer session before being charged with murder, wounding with intent, and possession of a prohibited weapon in relation to the incident. According to the witness, Wallman responded, "A beer lie that boy there tell upon me," when he was charged. The court also heard that on December 4, 2020, while on duty at the Spanish Town CIB office, the witness saw another accused, Lamar Rowe, who came to report the status of his firearm. The witness said he immediately took Rowe into custody, informed him of the investigation, and indicated his intention to conduct a question and answer session and place him on an identification parade. When asked if he could identify Rowe, the witness got up, looked around the courtroom, then proceeded back to the witness box. There he pointed out the accused Lamar Rowe, saying, "I've seen him, sir, over there in the black shirt." The man identified confirmed his name as Lamar Rowe. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Now, in a joint effort with lawmen from the Mandeville Police Station and Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Mike Crawford, youths in the Heart East District are being urged this afternoon to stay away from crime. This during a walkthrough and meeting hosted in the parish on Monday.
It makes no sense that you get up and you take up a gun because somebody is going to buy you a motorcycle or somebody is going to ensure that your rum and boom is on the counter tomorrow. It makes no sense. So I'm saying and I'm imploring you to be sensible. Your councillor, your member of parliament just spoke, the person from the Northern Caribbean University just spoke a while ago. There are so many opportunities that are available to you as young men and young women in these communities. And we are asking you to look at the positives around you and gravitate towards them. Your community, the safety and security of your community is your responsibility. You need to do all that you can.
Now, the meeting was also attended by members of the Northern Caribbean University. Now, despite the parish recording 9 murders since the start of the year, Superintendent Kerry Duncan says Manchester is not under pressure in curbing criminal activities.
Persons may see some things happening in Manchester, and I think that Manchester is under pressure where crime and violence is concerned. I'm here to tell you that is not so. So what we're seeing happening in this parish is concentrated in a particular space, and that is the land settlement and the New All communities at present. What we have earlier on is an area of New England, and that is just on this side, an area that we refer to usually as the Elbert. So from Old England, Comfort, land settlement, and New All are where we're seeing some challenges. Manchester is a very, very big parish. And for the most part, in Manchester, we are not seeing any incidents of crime or murders being committed.
He is also imploring members of the Hearties district to remain vigilant of others who might traverse the area to get to other communities when committing criminal activities. However, he says a greater effort will be placed on clamping down on scamming in the community. Let's go now to a break. More when we come back.
Home doesn't have to be a dream. The key is finding one that's right for you. With an NHD home buyer loan, you can buy a house or land on the open market or within one of our developments. Whether you're applying a loan or with a co-applicant, we offer easy financing and low interest rates. Our Parent Assist gives you an opportunity to buy a home on the open market or in an NHD scheme development. Don't just dream it, live it. Visit your nearest NHD branch today. NHD, the key to your home.
Welcome to JDIC set.
All right. Roll the camera now.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, this is Deposit Insurance in a minute. Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation protects deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies.
What deposit? Deposits are the money you save in the bank or a building society.
For example, savings and checking accounts.
In Jamaican or foreign currencies.
Oh, me get what you say now.
But glad every bank account when me have is protected by the JDIC.
Deposit insurance is automatic and free. I like that, you know. I like that.
Well, them JDIC, money good then.
JDIC. Protecting deposit for you and me. That's good.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back. We are continuing the news. Opposition leader Mark Golding delivered his address to Parliament in the ongoing budget debates for 2026-27. From knocking the Andrew Holness-led administration for a budget he says will ultimately put more Jamaicans back financially, to declaring his party has a better plan and demanding an end to the NHD withdrawals, he's convinced the poor will have more bitter medicine under the JLP. More from Nika Lewis.
Mr. Golding paid homage to those who came before him and their strides in what he considered a rescue mission for the Jamaican economy back in 2012. He would later take aims at the Andrew Holness-led government for what he deemed a low-tech, low-wage, low-growth economy, now worsened by what he calls a pro-cyclical budget.
It will suppress consumer demand and reinforce the downward spiral of the economy rather than pushing against the downward spiral to turn it into a virtuous circle. It is pro-cyclical instead of counter-cyclical when the cycle is heading in the wrong direction. This could not come at a worse time because the war in the Middle East is driving up oil and gas prices. And it's not just oil and gas prices. It is going to include fertilizers. It's going to include plastics that are used in manufacturing, and so many other things.
He notes that Melissa's ravages amounted to some 56% of the gross domestic product, GDP, and would require a much harder fight to return and surpass the country's pre-Melissa growth. He insists now is the time to drive GDP growth while fiscal relaxation measures are in place.
Early money is like yeast, and that proverb encapsulates the truism that early investment is needed to turn the situation around. The time to aggressively pursue recovery from the Melissa disaster and to set the platform for higher levels of sustainable growth is while the fiscal rules are suspended. Now is the time to drive GDP growth, because it will be much more challenging once the maximum 2-year suspension of the fiscal rules comes to an end and the law does not permit any further extension.
And although he welcomed the government's efforts in offering home repair grants to hundreds of Jamaicans who suffered damage during the storm, he notes more must be done.
Sorry, half of it, $5 billion is for those who have suffered total loss. That can only support 10,000 households being rebuilt. We are told that 24,000 households were totally destroyed. Clearly, not even half. Similarly, with $4 billion allocated to those needing major repairs and $1 billion allocated to those needing less extensive repairs, this implies support for only 33,333 households out of 166,000 households who are estimated to have suffered damage needing repairs across both of those two categories. Madam Speaker, the upshot is that there is a real need for much more extensive investment in restoring decent, habitable shelter.
Vexed by the new taxes, he echoed the sentiments of his finance spokesman, Julian Robinson, that they would simply further burden the poor.
This bottle of water contains 500 milliliters, which is half a liter, and it costs $100 on the street or in a corner shop. 2 of these bottles of water make 1 liter and cost $200. A liter of gas at the pump is $185. Water costs more than gas in Jamaica.
Meanwhile, he also cautioned the government against plans to continue withdrawing from the NHT for non-housing demands.
Now, the country facing disaster losses of up to 56% of GDP, one economist is warning to act quickly to avoid deeper economic fallout. Dr. Christine Stokes says international evidence from similar large-scale disasters shows that the first 12 to 18 months are critical for recovery. Speaking on CVM's lead story on Tuesday, he explained that governments must implement a strong fiscal response early, focusing on rebuilding infrastructure, supporting businesses, and protecting vulnerable groups.
Not going to recover fully from Melissa's damage in one fiscal year. It's not going to be all the money that is needed is going to be spent in 26-27. So let's get that out of the way. There's 2 more things I want to mention. Senator Tomlinson is absolutely right in that, generally speaking, as an economic theory, if you take money out of people's pocket, when they need that, having it in their pocket allow them to spend, to buy groceries, to pay rent, then you run the risk of contracting the economy. When the economy is already contracting because of Melissa, and I don't expect that to be long-term, we do have a productivity problem, which we can speak about later. But that is not on the face of it helpful. But there are 2 nuanced situations I'd like to share. The first is the fact of the tax being applied does not in and of itself mean that the contraction will be worsened, because it depends on how the tax dollar is spent.
Police in Hanover are reporting an increase in cases of domestic violence and threats in the parish. This despite a reduction in other crimes. The issue was raised at the latest meeting of the municipal corporation. Javoni Hamilton reports.
Deputy Superintendent of Police Courtney Wilson says Hanover has recorded an 11.1% reduction in major crimes compared to 2025. He notes that within Area 1, only Westmoreland is performing better. Despite the progress, police are raising concern about an increase in domestic violence and threats being reported across the parish.
Up to this morning, where we recovered a firearm in Dias, it was as a result of a domestic dispute, and the police responded quickly. And one party was threatening the other with an illegal firearm. I think we need some conflict resolution training to assist the persons in the parish. Because what we're seeing is not necessarily an increase per se as it relates to the numbers, but we are seeing very, very frequent situation where our attention are actually called to dispute that could have been otherwise settled in an amicable way.
In response, the police have rolled out several community safety programs through the Community Safety and Security Branch, targeting all 6 districts in Hanover.
Under the directive of SP Nish, we have taken a multi-pronged approach. So we have social intervention by the Community Safety and Security Department, where the team will go out into the schools, into the communities, and we will hold widely publicized meetings. So we have 6 police in this